Hello everyone, welcome to Tech Sharmit. In this session, we are going to discuss about another very important property of border, that is border style. So in this session, mainly we are going to talk what is border style, why do we need border style property, what all possible values are there that we can use in order to customize the border. In previous session, we discussed about the border width. So today we are just going to continue the series where we will talk another property, and we can also use border width here. Okay, so likewise step by step we will proceed for the advanced topic, and whatever we have discussed we are going to use that throughout the sessions. Okay, so as I mentioned, like in this session we are going to talk about what is border style, why do we need border style, and how we can, what all possible values are there, because there are lots of value that we can pass to this border style property. But before we proceed with the session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow them sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic, because for timing we are just mainly focusing on border style property. But prior to that, you should know what is how to write the basic CSS, right? And if we are using any part of HTML, you should know about that thing. So these all things are already covered, right? You just need to watch it. And now we are just going to talk about the border style. So for that, firstly we will talk on the code. Here you can see we have just noted down the simple code which include one heading that shows CSS Cascading Style Sheets by Tech Sharmit. Along with this, we have head section contain one title that shows Tech Sharmit. Now what next? We are going to see the output of this web page. So let me save it and refresh the browser. So once I refresh the browser, you can see it shows CSS Cascading Style Sheet by Tech Sharmit, and there is a title on the tab. Looks good. Okay, now what next? We will put heading for today's session. So today's session is H2. I'll put the H2 heading, and here we will write background. We are going to talk about border. Okay, border style. So border style is our topic. Border style property in CSS. Okay, border style property in CSS. Now you can simply save it and refresh it. So once you refresh it, you will see that border style property in CSS has been populated on the screen. Okay, now we all know that in HTML we can also create div, and for this session tutorial we need one div. So let's add the div. So to add the div, we will just go and add the element. So div, here we will assign one ID to apply some CSS to it, and here I'm using box as an ID. Remember one thing, this is case sensitive. If you are writing something with capital B, then at the time of accessing it, it should be capital B, otherwise it won't work. Okay, so we have just created one div here. Now after creating this div, we are going to apply the CSS, and we all know that border style is also one of the CSS property. So there are three methods through which we can apply the CSS. First one is the inline CSS, second is internal CSS, and the third one is external CSS. For this example, we are going to use the internal CSS because I want to show you both things together, HTML code and CSS code. So let's go here, and here we will write style, which is a tag through which we can add the internal CSS. And here firstly we need to select the selector. So in our case, like we can see ID is the selector, right? So we will write here hash and box, because to access the ID we need hash symbol. Then you can put curly braces open and close, and here we will firstly set the basic properties like width, height, right? So here in width I am providing 900 pixel. Likewise for the height we will provide for height we can go with I think 600 would be enough. So 600 pixels. Perfect. Now you save it, refresh it. So you can see width and height is applied, but we are not able to see anything. Why? Because we have not added border yet. So this time we are directly going to use the border style. I know usually we use this term border 5 pixel solid blacks, because that is a shortened value where we are combining multiple things. And now from this series, like, we are going to learn about each and every attribute separately. Okay, so for that reason, first we are going to learn about the border style. So you just need to write here border style. Then we have multiple value that we can pass here, like dashed, dotted, double, groove, hidden, right? Likewise, we have so many values. So let's start one by one. And first value is solid. So when you select the solid, what it will do, it will show you the solid border. So you can save it and refresh it. So now you can see a solid border is coming on the div. Here in border style, to show you the things properly, let's add the border width, which we learned in previous session, right? And here we can set the pixels as 20 pixel. Perfect. So now it is more visible, right? So you can see this is called solid border. By default color is black, we all know, right? We are not specifying color, that's why it is showing black. Okay, fine. So we discussed the first value. Now the second value is dotted. Sometime we need to draw a border but with dots. So in that case, you can go with a dotted option. So here you can write dotted, save it, refresh it. So you can see now we have a dotted border. Clear? Likewise, there might be some requirement for a project where we are supposed to use a dashed border. So in that case, you just need to write here dashed. Okay, now you can save it and refresh it. So once you refresh your browser, you will see that a dashed border is coming on a div. Okay, so far we have discussed three values: solid, which shows a solid border; dotted, which shows a border that is that is built by dots. Then we discussed dashed, which is built by dash. Now the fourth value is inset. What is inset? Let me show you. You just need to write here inset, save it and refresh it. So now you can see, and look it very carefully. Why? Because the another value is just opposite of it. Okay, so here in case of inset, we can see the top and the right border is of dark color, whereas right and the bottom border is of light color. So you can easily see the difference, right? This is called inset border. Now we have another value which is just opposite to it, which means if you change the value from inset to outset, the things will just replaced. Now we have right and bottom border as a dark border, and top and left border is a light border. Okay, so this is how things work. Okay, we discussed about inside border and outside border. Now what next? Next we are going to use ridge, RIDGE. So in this case, you will see the border is looking differently, right? We can see a 3D kind of border we can see here. If you want to see it more properly, maybe we can increase the width, but I'm sure like you can see the impact. Okay, so this is how a ridge border looks like. Okay, likewise we have another option, that is groove. So for that you just need to write here groove, save it and refresh it. So this is a groove border. Sometime in interviews you might be asked with different option, that these are the values, like how and you are supposed to draw or tell like what is the difference between these values. So in that case you can simply answer, because we all know like solid is a simple one, dotted, dashed, inset, outset. Once it is clear, then you can draw inset, outset. Then we discuss ridge, groove. Similarly, let's say there is a requirement where we are supposed to draw a border, double border. So in that case you just need to write here double, save it, refresh it. So now you can see a double border is coming here. Okay, so this is how we provide the values. Likewise, we have another option, that is hidden. In case of hidden border, what it will do, there is a border but it is hidden. From its name it is clear, right? Hidden means we are not able to see it. Okay, so when we are not able to see it, that is a hidden border, and we can see in code we have specified hidden. The last value is none value. That means we are not applying any border. Okay, so by default value is none itself. So when we are not applying any border, so it will come like this. Okay, we are not applying any border. So this is how we can set the values for the border style property. I hope all values are clear, and when you check with other values, like you can see these values we have already covered, hidden, right? For inherit, like inherit is used when we are using div inside a div and then we are using it from the parent window. So that is a different thing, but I don't want to make that much complex session for you. That's why I'm just going through a basic thing first. Okay, so if you know about these dash, dotted, double, groove, hidden, inset, outset, none, ridge, then I think it is fine for you now. If needed, we will discuss it again, inherit and other values also. Okay, but for time being we are just covering all these values. So mainly in the session we discussed how to use border style, what all possible values are there that we can use with border style property. I hope the session is clear to all of you. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.